Alrighty guys, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I'm reviewing Jedi Knights Issue 1, subtitled The Invasion of Syrinx Prime, which was written by Marc Guggenheim with art by Madabek Musabakov, and it was released on March 5th, 2025, which I thought was a good start to the series, which with this series, the format will be a kinda semi-anthology, as when it was announced, it said each issue will kind of follow mainly two Jedi characters on a mission together, which this issue isn't like that, as we see several Jedi on this mission, which I'd assume it was like that in this issue to kind of just set up the Jedi we'll be following throughout the series, as this issue has several returning characters like Yoda, Mace Windu, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and several others, but does also introduce a few new Jedi characters, and so I think that was really the main purpose of this issue, was to kind of set all that up. But I said it's a semi-anthology series, mainly because there are kind of some seeds planted in this issue for a ongoing story with Qui-Gon, which is kind of separate from the rest of the story in this issue, which the story of this issue starts on the world Syrinx Prime, as we see the Jedi defending the planet from invaders from another world called Vicura, which we see on Vicura as Qui-Gon and another Jedi named Baram Karna are there trying to negotiate a ceasefire with the leader of the world named General Lafko, which the general doesn't want to and is a bit hostile towards the Jedi, which Barim gets frustrated over that and tries to Jedi mind trick Lafko, but it doesn't work, as Lafko then kind of mentions he knows about it and knows it only works on the weak-minded, and so all it does is just put the negotiations back further. But back on Syrinx Prime, we see Adi Gallia and a new character, Sierra Longa, on Syrinx Prime. They've taken a detour away from the fighting. They kind of find more info about the world and whatnot, which they then come across a prison camp where they find something urgent to go tell Master Yoda, which they don't reveal what it is at this moment, but it's obviously people from the world of Vicura, including children. But it then cuts back over to Vicura, where Qui-Gon and Barim kind of discuss what's next, which Barim thinks they've learned something, but Qui-Gon shuts them down, saying that they learned nothing, and even though they might suspect something, that doesn't mean it's the truth. But then Qui-Gon gets attacked by this mysterious assassin, which Qui-Gon is able to take them down, but when he tries to interrogate the assassin, asking if they were from Vicura or Syrinx Prime, and just, who they are, which they don't answer those questions, and then they use a smoke bomb and are able to get away, which afterwards, Qui-Gon and Barim wonder what the hell happened, which Barim starts collecting evidence, but Qui-Gon tells them they need to get back to Syrinx Prime to speak with the Jedi Council, which there we see all the Jedi gathered together, which Qui-Gon and Barim tell them what happened with Lafko and whatnot, and how he was a bit hostile towards them, which Qui-Gon does say he believes Lafko acted the way he did more out of fear, and that he believes the Vicura aren't the aggressors, which Galea and Longa reveal the prison camp they found holding Vicura citizens, which Longa says that this might not have been an invasion, but a rescue mission. And so now knowing that there's more to the story, Yoda believes he knows a way to persuade both sides to negotiate, which we then see that plan in a montage-like moment, which I quite enjoyed this moment and how it kind of cuts back and forth between stuff and whatnot as we see two groups of Jedi on both worlds destroying the world's shipyards and weapon depots and whatnot, which would cause both wars to not be able to wage war anymore. But while they're doing this, we see Yoda speaking with the Syrinx Prime leader Hoss and Mace Windu speaking with Lafko, as they both give them similar speeches, revealing that they know what's fully going on now and whatnot. And near the end, they both reveal that the Jedi have destroyed their shipyard and weapon depots. And so now it's time to come to the bargaining table and bring peace to their worlds, which works as we see the leaders agreeing to a truce, which, like I said, I enjoyed, the cutting back and forth between Yoda and Windu in this scene. But the issue then ends back on Coruscant as Qui-Gon and Bareem speak about that assassin, which Bareem says he believes the assassin was only after Qui-Gon and not him, as the assassin didn't pay much attention to him and really only did when he went after them, which Bareem then kind of reveals the assassin cut a piece of Qui-Gon's robe off, which had a tiny tracker sewn inside of it, which Bareem then wonders how that happened, but more so wonders who wants to kill Qui-Gon. But we then see Yoda and Obi-Wan training as Yoda gives him a lesson on visions and how they might happen, how they might not happen, and all that, which we do see some of Obi-Wan's visions, which there's like a 2-page spread showing several of them, which there's ones like Dooku as a Sith facing off against Yoda, which we know will happen, but also then Yoda as a Sith, which we know won't happen, but then a bunch of other things, which I would assume are more teases for future storylines in this series. But afterwards, Obi-Wan asks Yoda, how does he know which visions will become true? Which Yoda says that you don't, and that only time will answer that. Which Obi-Wan says that he can't accept that answer, as he reveals a vision he had of Qui-Gon dying in combat, which we do see this vision, and the person killing Qui-Gon is similar to the assassin we saw from earlier, which that is where the issue ends. Like I said, I thought it was a solid first issue. It sets up, the series and the Jedi will follow. I enjoyed the stuff with Qui-Gon and the assassin and the setup there. I will say I didn't care too much about the conflict with Syrinx Prime and Vakura, mainly because of this format. I only have one issue to kind of explore these stories, so I am interested to see how well it will do in future issues. So I do hope in future issues it kind of works a little more for me there. But obviously, like I said, future issues will seemingly mainly follow 2 Jedi characters, so obviously I would assume it'll be a little more focused there in future issues. I thought the art was solid in this one, so yeah, don't really have much else to say there on art. And really, that's everything I wanted to say about this issue. Thought it was a solid start to the series. Interested to see where it goes next, but my grade is going to be a B. So yeah. But next, I will review issue 2, so you can check that out then. But in the meantime, you check out my other comic reviews and everything else I do. But I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.